4 months ago, I posted something on the community tab, and I meant every word of it. Watching them reshape Korean cinema one by one, separately flipping an entire industry, that's the real story. And now, the grid has finally locked in. Ji-hoon and Yoo Hae-jin in The King's Warden, Hong Kyung and Seul Kyung-gu in Good News, and Hyun-wook and Choi Min-sik in Notes from the Last Row, confirmed for Netflix, June 26th. Korean cinema has always been built on guaranteed names, established faces, box office insurance. And then these 3 young actors each walked into a room, one-on-one, with the biggest legends in the industry, and held their ground. 3 completely different genres. Not one of them blinked. Hey, I'm Jenny. This channel is where Korean dramas go deeper than subtitles, covering the cultural context and language nuance that gets lost in translation. Subscribe if that sounds like your thing. So, what is Notes from the Last Row actually about? A Korean literature professor, played by Choi Min-sik, who wrote one novel more than 20 years ago and never wrote a second one. On the surface, he's still a professor, but inside, something has been quietly rotting away. And sitting in the very last row of his classroom is a kid who writes like a genius. That kid, almost by accident, starts turning everything around him into muddy water. The most interesting part to me? The people who willingly sink into it. The director behind this is Kim Gyu-tae, and if you've seen It's Okay That's Love, you already know what he's capable of. He spent an entire series making you believe a hallucination was completely real. That kind of precision doesn't just disappear. I've already decided, I'm not watching the source material before this one, because the best viewing experiences I've ever had were the ones where I completely forgot I was watching an actor and just believed the character. That's what I'm going in for. And with this cast, this director, I think I'm going to get exactly that. Now, the man playing that professor, Choi Min-sik. You know him as Oh Dae-soo from Oldboy. Last year, he won Best Actor at the Chungyong Film Awards for Exuma. He did not attend. The director had to explain from the stage that he couldn't survive the ceremony without nicotine. He skipped his own award night to go smoke. Very himself, honestly. Slightly reclusive, doesn't care much about the public gaze. And this is the man who personally attended every single audition for this role. Every single one. Looking for a young actor who could actually hold their own against him. Now imagine Hyun-wook walking into that room. You know him as Suho from Weak Hero. Before Lee Kang, the boy in the back row of a literature class, there was Suho. But now he's standing in front of a man whose face alone carries the entire history of Korean cinema. Hyun-wook said it himself. I was sweating a lot. And then he said to himself, don't let yourself get rattled. Don't shrink. And when the read was over, Choi Min-sik turned to him and said, let's grab a meal together. Out of everyone who walked through that door, only Hyun-wook got that invite. After filming wrapped, Hyun-wook said this. I wrote a handwritten letter to Min-sik for the first time in my life. It wasn't just acting I learned, it was life. A 23-year-old who walked in sweating and wrote a handwritten letter when it was all over. Kind of romantic, isn't it? That's who's playing Lee Kang. Notes from the Last Row. Netflix, June 26th. I'll see you then!